Sawadi crap. Good morning. This video today is the start of a series of videos, I hope, regarding weight loss, slimming, and diet control, etc. That initiated about 2 weeks ago when my wife asked me to purchase something for her that I'll tell you a bit more about in a moment. But before I go on, I want to give you some of the history behind what's happened. My daughter, who is now coming up for 5 years old, was born in April 2016. This was about 6 months after I fully retired here to Thailand. And after the birth of my daughter, my wife struggled to try and get back to the weight that she was prior to my daughter's birth, but prior to her becoming pregnant, actually. Before she became pregnant, she was running around about 58 kilos to 60 kilos, and good shape and looked good. But after the birth of my daughter, she just couldn't shed this weight at all. And she looked as though she was still 7 or 8 months pregnant for several years after the birth of my daughter. And it's only recently that, she's really got fed up with it all and trying hard to shed this excess weight, which I know has been depressing her for some time. And she has had the problem that she loved eating, and she would eat at every opportunity with family, whatever. She did overeat a lot. But that wasn't the main problem. The main problem was me, in that reading up on how our various constitutions work inside us, with food, etc. It all depends where you come from and what your staple diets were that you were brought up on, that what your body can handle easily. Well, obviously, I was born and brought up in Scotland, in the UK, and the diet there was potatoes and bread and soups and meats, and all very high carbohydrate diets that I managed to deal with quite well. I didn't really go overweight, not until I started drinking the various beers, etc., and that did create a bit of havoc for me. That sent me a bit obese, which I've since managed to reverse. Now I don't eat so much potatoes, and I don't eat much. I still eat potatoes, but I don't eat as much, and I don't eat as much bread as I used to do. But this was the problem, actually, that my wife settled into eating the same diet as I was eating, and she was eating potatoes and the meats that I was eating, the lambs and the beefs and the stews with the dumplings in, etc., etc., backed up with lots of vegetables, which weren't a problem. But the bread and the potatoes and the high carbohydrate foods was a problem. Her body was just not used to it, and she was brought up on a diet of rice and items cooked in a far different way than I was accustomed to. Now, obviously, rice is a high carbohydrate commodity as well, and that creates a problem. So I think the main blame for her not being able to return to her original weight was me, because I was cooking most of the time. I enjoy cooking, and I enjoy experimenting. We're buying cakes also, and all sorts of things that really aren't good, going to KFCs and blah, 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 and getting all the wrong type of food for us all the time. And it just never gave her a chance at all to get back to where she wanted to be. But now she's made up her mind that that's what she's going to do. And this all came to light about 2 weeks ago, as I say, when she asked me if I would purchase some tablets for her, for what she said was a keto diet. I'd never heard of this before, I didn't know, but I asked her what these tablets were, and I have them here. These are MCT Plus tablets that I purchased. They weren't cheap. The 90 tablets in that jar were about 1,000 bahts. You can get them a little bit cheaper if you buy them more in bulk, but we started with this one jar of 90 tablets. And then she's gone on to this diet by herself. She's cut out potatoes, she's cut out rice, she's cut out bread. She's eating a lot of items, vegetables and fruit that she would never have concentrated on before. And she sort of unofficially started the diet about, I would say now, about 10 days ago. And when she started, she was 73 kilos. Well, 10 days and she's down to 69 kilos, 4 kilos in 10 days. Wow, that's good. That's very good. And I can see a big difference in her already. Very nice, actually. She's trimming up well, as they say. So it's definitely working. So I've been doing some research on this keto diet, and not only is it good for your weight and your figure, but it's also good for your brain, your mind, your energy levels, etc. And it certainly seems to be the way to go. But it's a big rave at the moment, the keto diet, and which cuts down on carbohydrates, but builds up more in fat, etc. So it's a sustainable diet. That's what it seems to be like to me. And I thought, well, we'll look into it. We're going to go on it, and I'll make a record of how we're getting on and what we're finding and what we're sourcing. And I think it will be quite interesting, but maybe particularly to females, but maybe to everybody. I don't know. So that is the mission, and that's the story behind the mission. So with that, I'll keep you informed. In the next step, we're going to start researching the diet and making out a dietary plan, what to do. Just before Christmas is a wonderful time to do this. There was me planning sort of, turkey's not so much on the cards, but I was planning some high carbohydrate diets, but maybe I'll still go off the rails a bit, but I think my wife wants to stay the way she's going, and I don't blame her for that, and I'm happy that she does that. So that's the end of this video for now, and I'll sign off as usual by saying, please, everyone be very, very careful. Keep away from this COVID rubbish. It's good to know that there's a vaccine program and process, and I believe I've been told in May they start manufacturing the vaccine here in Thailand, and that is when I believe they intend to roll out the big program here in Thailand. Well, unfortunately I can't move until such time as I can get these vaccines, and it's still pretty safe here in Thailand, and we're hoping it stays that way. There has been 2 or 3 incidents of late where people have come across the border secretively and have had this virus, but they've been caught, and the track and trace system seems to have spreading quite quickly. Who knows how good how effective that is, but we're hoping pretty good. We had one case here in Pattaya a couple of days ago where some woman had managed to come through the airport from some foreign country and come down to Pattaya. How she got out the airport through the security is anybody's guess. But she got down here, and she was out in Pattaya for the night, and then she went back to her room. She had a room here, and at 5 o'clock in the morning, there was a lot of immigration and police turned up looking for this woman. She went into hiding in somebody else's room, blah, blah, blah. Long story, I don't know at all. But eventually they caught her and they've taken her away. Now, there's been no confirmation. This hasn't even hit the local news. I only know it because of some of the people that were involved in it. And there was no telling, maybe this lady didn't have COVID-19. All that we do know is that she came through the airport, avoided the quarantine, and got here to Pattaya and went downtown Pattaya and stayed here for some hours. So it just shows that things can happen, and it can happen very, very quickly. So you've got to be careful. Keep your guard up. Even though it's low here in Thailand, a low risk factor, we still wear masks all the time, we still wash our hands, we still try to keep socially distant, etc. It's up to everybody. Do your best to keep safe. And I'll follow this video up very, very shortly. Thank you for watching, and if you like it, please click the like button, leave any comments you wish to do. If you care to, then please subscribe, ring the bell and do whatever these people do. But thank you for watching, and bye for now.